Hey guys, Sarah with Three Raptor Consulting. I'm here today to present on our next class. And this month, the month of May, we are going to present to you engaging your audience through social media. And there's a variety of different topics and things that we're going to talk about here. I would encourage you to go back and watch this video a couple times and pause so you can see everything that is on all of the slides. There's a lot of good information here. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about engaging your audience through social media. So today we're going to really work on getting your target audience truly defined, breaking it into what I like to call subcategories, subgroups, and then really working on creating a plan so that you know how to advertise to each different group of your target audience. And as we go through this, you'll get some more understanding of what I mean. Also, we're going to use two of my favorite ways to advertise, which is setting your business up as a subject matter expert and also blogging, which I think is going to be a huge asset. So defining your target audience. All right. So the first thing we always like to say is, who is your audience? Now, I find that with a lot of businesses, this question gets really big and really vague very quickly. So what I like to do is really work on breaking it down. Like if we were talking about dog products, who's your target audience, right? You're going to have your college students, your 20-somethings that have a dog, your 30-somethings who have families and a dog, your empty nesters who have a dog. There's a whole variety of different subcategories within that target audience of people who are going to be interested in purchasing your products, but yet each subgroup is going to want different kinds of advertisement given to them. So you're going to really want to spend a lot of time defining this and breaking it down. And here are some questions to help you really expand that further. So ask yourself, with the services and or products that you offer, are there any holes or in services or products that are currently being offered? As negative as this can sound, as business owners, we should be actively looking to solve a problem or a challenge that our target audience has. And when we really identify those problems and or challenges that we're solving, it can really help us dig deep to identify who our true target audience is. And then once we define that target audience, to understand if we need to break that up into subgroups so that we can appropriately advertise to each group and get everyone into our business. Is there any way to offer these services or products into a niche market? You sometimes don't want to be so broad that you just apply to everybody. Sometimes it's better if you're very specific. I have found with my business, the more specific I get, the better it is, rather than saying that we're here for all small businesses and nonprofits. Really honing in on a specific niche has helped us really expand business. And then you also want to identify if there's a portion of the market that's not being served. That could be a great problem for you to tackle. So with your current services and products, I am a huge person on letting data drive our decisions and data drive what we do. And so one of the best things you can do is review your sales. And if you have any data over who your current target audience is, really review who they are and understand how that data affects your sales, and ask yourself, if there's any way to capitalize on that data to really advance what services and products are being sold. It's important to remember that products and services are going to come and go in seasons. And so you want to identify what season it goes with each product and service so that you get the right advertisement out at the right time to the right target audience. So when you put it all together, you should have a very good comprehensive list of who your target audience is. As I've said, sometimes you need to break that down into subgroups because it could be such a broad age range or gender range or whatever. And you want to make sure that you get the right advertisements to the right group. Identify if there's any holes in the market you can fill, if there's any niche marketing that you can do, what are those problems and challenges that you can serve, and which of your products and services have the best history of sales. So when you want to really define that target audience, some additional questions is you could ask yourself is, who could we exchange with? Who could we make into our target audience? Is there a specific segment in there that we want to target? Who should we be doing business with? And how can we position our products and services to touch the hearts of the people that we want to? These are questions that you should really take quite a bit of time answering, and you should really spend a lot of time reflecting on. These shouldn't just be quick off the top of your head answers. These should be things that you are really looking for ways to expand and better your engagement of your target audience. So what I like to do is say is, can your target audience be broken down into more than one group? And I really like to define what groups it is and do subgroups, because I think that makes it easier to get that really personal touch into your marketing. And it also helps you create a cycle to your themes and your marketing to keep things fresh and entertaining. And it helps you make sure that you reach everybody in your target audience. Something I've really noticed is there's a lot of groups that are overlooked for one reason or another, and they're actively looking for places to spend their money, or they have problems that we can actively solve. So really stop and look in your community and in your competition on if there are groups of people that are overlooked and rejected, because that could be your perfect ideal audience, and you could transition your business to really focus on their needs. Really look at the holes that are in your current market and ask yourself if there's a way to add a product or service that would really meet the needs of your target audience and fill this hole. And then you want to ask yourself, what emotions do you want to really display through your advertisement, or what emotions do you want clients to have when they work with you? So like for me, I want my clients to feel educated and informed and powerful and able to make really data-driven, informed decisions. Those are the feelings I want to give to my clients. I want them to just feel on fire, ready to conquer the world, and to know that they have a plan that's going to get them through anything. So really take time to define what those emotions are and how you want to elicit a response in your target audience. All right, so we're going to do a quick review of social media. 75%, 74% of people who say they use Facebook for professional purposes. I will say that this is very true. And especially if you get things posted in the right time and with the right wording, you can really engage that target audience. I would say really make sure that you pick what platforms are best for you. I will tell you, I am excuse me, no longer, so sorry, it's spring in Oklahoma. We are no longer advertising on every social media platform. I've really scaled it back. And by really scaling it back, I've been able to put a lot more effort and intention into what we're posting, and we've had a much better response. So remember that not every platform is for you, and that being visible in more places isn't always better. So think about, do you want to be on Facebook, on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter? I think Twitter might be dying, YouTube, or what other platforms you might want to be on. So one of the best ways that you can connect with your target audience is through emotion. And really, when you can show that true empathy where you understand their problems, you understand the pain that they're facing on a daily basis, and you have the solution to that, and you are empathetic through the entire conversation, post, video, however it is that you do your advertising, then you're really going to nail how you connect with that target audience, and they're going to want to come to you. So again, just look at who your target audience is. Ask yourself one last time if there's any subgroups you may have missed. Trust me, it's not going to hurt for you to ask yourself this question every single day. It'll just help you really get better on honing in and focusing on exactly who it is you want your marketing to appeal to. So this is a ladder diagram, and this is where we can really get a lot of connection with our target audience. We can ask ourselves, if we start at the top, what is that personal value that we want our target audience to feel? What is that personal benefit, that key emotion that we want them to get from using our products or our services? And then working from the bottom up, we can ask ourselves, what's the key feature of the product or service we're marketing? And what is the result of that key feature? And when we put all of that together, we get the emotion and the feature and the wording that is really going to appeal to our target audience and is really going to engage with them. I'm asked all the time where people should advertise. And rather than telling you where you should advertise, I like to give you the information and the questions that you should ask. And so I think it's really good for you to ask yourself, what is the return on investment? So for every penny, and whether that is a physical penny that is coming out of your bank account or a penny that could be associated with the time you spend creating the advertisement, what is the cost? How much time are you spending? What is the actual cost on these advertisements? And for that cost, are you reaching the audience that you want to reach? And make sure that there's a good return on investment there. And you want to make sure that the locations that have the highest return on investment are where you focus your energy. And that's the entire shift that we have made this year. And it's been a really liberating shift. When you design your advertisements, really keep in mind that empathy is the key emotion that you really want to give. Even if you're trying to communicate joy and happiness, do it in a sense of empathy where you really are relating and connecting to your target audience. Make sure that you use that ladder diagram every time you come up with new wording or phrases. Always use data to define where you're going to interact with your target audience and really have a data-driven plan. Again, that's going to save you time because it's going to show you where you should be present versus where you shouldn't be present, and create advertisements that appeal to your target audience and work with the platform that you choose. Now, remember, if you have subgroups, you might need to do themes in a rotation so that over a week or over a month, you've engaged or appealed to everybody within your target audience. So when we engage with clients, so some of the ways to engage with clients through social media is to offer a sample of your work. Now, remember, you don't want to give anything away for free, or don't give away too much for free. People don't tend to value what they just get for free. So make sure that it's something that will show the quality of your work, but isn't too much. Share a blog or video, build trust, ask what people need, make sure that you listen well. A lot of this is kind of very obvious, but I know every time I go through this for myself, it just kind of helps me refocus on what I need to be focusing on. Make sure that you show your personality. Social media these days and advertisements, people don't want these cold, large market campaigns. They want to know who they're working with. They want to have input. They want to have say. So asking for input, doing polls and surveys is a great way to do this. If you are the kind of business that can do a loyalty program, do a loyalty program, a referral program, do whatever it is that you can do to get people to come to your business and pay attention to how you are. And remember, nothing beats quality customer service. Sometimes it's the best way to distinguish yourself from your competition. And remember, competition is a great thing because it brings awareness to what you guys do, and it can save you a lot of time on bringing that awareness, and you can really hone in and focus in on what those solutions are. Now, one of my favorite things to do is to set yourself up as a subject matter expert. You have to be very careful to do this in a way where you aren't arrogant. You're very humble. You're just sharing information that you know. So just make sure that you show a lot of empathy, and I think that that will work. I like to blog, and so right now I've been rewriting a lot of old blogs, and we're going to republish them throughout the year. I do like to give away free resources because I like to invest in my clients before they invest in me. And one of the best ways that I found to close deals is to offer people some tips and tricks to help them solve a smaller problem, and then that usually brings them back to me so that they hire me to solve their larger problems. Really focus on adding value to clients by investing in them. Sometimes one of the ways I try to invest in people is through positivity, just sharing a positive word or some inspiration or motivation through Facebook. I think positivity goes a long way in every genre and every field that you could possibly be working on. Another way is offering these free classes. Honestly, my goal with offering these free classes is to invest in people and help people achieve their dreams. It's really not to drum up business. I really, really want to see people be successful, but eventually, because I'm putting that positivity out, it's going to come back. So keep that mind focused on being positive and not being greedy. I think that's a huge thing. Now, if you're a writer, blogging is a great way to engage with your clients. You can really tell a lot of stories. I am a writer. I am not a content creator. So make sure that you get which one works better for you. So blogging is more where I can get my words and my heart out and do a really good job. Creating videos is not my strong point, and it's kind of hard for me to engage with the camera. I do much better in person with people. So really know your difference. But whether you do a vlog or a blog or you do reels, however you do it, just get your story out there. Remember, with blogs, you want to keep them kind of short. One of my pet peeves, and I'm not really sure how to stop this, is when you're reading a blog and there's all these ads that just keep popping up. So we want ads because we want to generate money and things, but we also want to make things easy for our clients to read. And remember that they can be informational, personal, narrative, or story. I like to do a mix and put a different varieties out there, but really set yourself up as a subject matter expert. You really want to increase your readership by referencing previous blogs, having links to those, asking if you can have other bloggers reference your blogs, or inviting guest bloggers. Where to blog? I do it on my website. You can do it on social media or on blogging platforms. I've done it a couple different places, and I just like doing it on my website. I find it easier to go back and find different things, but you need to find what works for you. I currently use Wix and WordPress. I have 2 different blogs, but any of these are great places for you to do blogs, and it's a lot easier than you think. I absolutely know nothing about coding, but I have built websites and landing pages and blogging platforms just using Wix and WordPress, and it's really been a nice, easy process. So be courageous, jump out there and try it. It's pretty easy once you get your foot out there. Really makes sure that you show your personality. Write like you talk. I tend to be pretty informal, and so I try to give that impression as the way that I write. Use data and research to back up your claims. Don't just say things, right? cite other people's work. What I like to do is I like to write a post and then I like to walk away from it, or I'm sorry, a blog. I like to write a blog. I like to write anything and then walk away from it for 24 to 48 hours and not even think about it. So that way, when I come back to edit, it's not like I remember things, it's brand new, fresh, and I catch my mistakes easier. Also, Grammarly is a great way to get yourself to have well edited blogs. But at a certain point, you just have to publish. Be sure that you're consistent. Last year, I had a lot of life changes, so I took probably about 6 months off that I needed for myself, and it has been hard gaining traction again. So looking back, I probably shouldn't have taken those 6 months off, but at the same time, I needed them. So you really got to weigh that balance. But you want to be consistent and come up with plans on how you're going to maintain your consistency. Like one of my tips is I try to work 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time. So that way, if life happens, if a big project comes through, whatever, I have a little bit of cushion so that I can keep up that consistency, but still deal with life or go on vacation. So try to plan a little bit. And find blogs you like and mimic their style. That's one of the easiest things. I know a lot of people tell me they just stare at that white screen and they're like, I don't know where to start. And I'm like, just start and you can go back and edit. Remember that. One of the biggest things with social media, especially in today's age, we really need to be genuine and authentic. And I think that's one of the reasons too why I'm trying to be more selective on where I put my time and energy so that I can truly be authentic. I don't want to be one of these content creators that is just pumping out content, because that's not me. Now, pumping out resources, blogs, tips and tricks, things that I feel are a true investment, I can do that, but just coming up with random posts or even posts to introduce those resources is really challenging for me. So make sure that you're genuine and authentic. I try to be very open and talk about what is hard for me, what I don't do well, partly because I don't want people to think that I'm perfect, but also because I feel like if I'm just open and talk about what is hard for me, it makes it easier for other people to take that step and that have that courage to just really jump out there and try things. And always follow through on your promises. And if mistakes happen, just make things right as soon as possible and own up to your mistakes. Last week, I had 2 mistakes that I had to own up to. One of them I wasn't even aware of. It was something that I had done over 8 months ago, and it was an honest mistake. And I went back, I referenced, I traced my steps. I knew exactly what I had done, and I owned up to it immediately. And I not only saved that relationship with a client, but then they made a huge referral for me to another really big client because I owned up on my mistake. And then it was funny. I had another client who was asking me how my day was going, and I said, I'm feeling a little unsure myself. I had to correct a mistake I made, and I got, everyone makes mistakes. It's okay. That's just part of human nature. And then that client asked for more business. So just be really open and honest with people, and it's really going to help you build your business. Trust is so challenging because trust takes a long time to build, but it takes a minute to break. So make sure that whatever you're putting out in social media is a true reflection of your business and who you are. You don't want to do a facade of any kind because people will find that out about you. We're in a day and age where it's very hard to hide who you are. Now, if you love to wear a full face of makeup all the time and then somebody catches you out at the gym with no makeup on, for heaven's sakes, that's you out and about without makeup on. That's not, a change or should violate anybody's trust. But if you say that you support animal rights and then somebody finds a picture of you wearing, a leather jacket or a fur coat, that's going to break people's trust in you. So be very aware of the day and age that we are in, and make sure that everything that you put out on social media is a true reflection of who you are, who your customers are, what your company stands for, and that you're very clear about it and that you're very authentic. And I honestly think that authenticity and being genuine, being humble, admitting when things are hard for you, admitting when things just don't go quite as planned are some of the best things. And so that's the approach that I take. And honestly, I'm the most comfortable in it. So hopefully that works for you. So this series of classes that we have been posting on social media have been about 12 to 15 minutes classes. So hopefully they're good chunks of time and information, and that they're worth your time. I will tell you, if we teach in person, these classes are usually about an hour, hour and a half long. And that's because we get questions from the audience and we get engagement from the audience, and we do some exercises. So I hope you guys like these. And if you ever have a chance to catch them in person, please check them out. I think that you will really like them. And I'm having technical issues. There we go. So just be honest, admit when you have a technical issue. I will tell you, in my videos, you probably hear a dog running around or a dog whining. That is Selena. She is, we have 2 rescue dogs, but she is the youngest of the 2. I call her our puppy. She's not a puppy anymore. She's 2, but the other is 9. So that makes her a puppy. And I have her in my office with me all the time. It's important for her that she knows where I am and is with me. That's part of her security. And I also think that it's part of just who we are, to say, hey, I'm sorry that you heard a dog barking or dog whining, but we support dogs, especially rescue animals. And we think that kids should be present and around their parents when they work. Now mine won't be popping in and out. She's 19, but I remember a time and place when she did. And so I really encourage you to just be who you are and say what you stand for. And I wish you guys all the best of luck and would love your feedback on this class.